this man disobeyed his master 3 consecutive times, and I tried to check for repercussion. I couldn't get one. So what is the meaning of this? Tarry here, the Lord has sent me to Jordan. Is that the Lord liveth, as thy soul liveth, we're going together. So 4 solid times. Ibo ni àwọn ní Yorùbá jókòó sí. Àwa wo la fẹ́ gbọ́ wàásù ní èdè abínibí wa. Tó màmá wa ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Àkànjí. That man is always awake. Abati kan báyìí yóò jí ni. Thank you so much for being there. He has been laboring so much. Thank you. So for 4 times, Elisha deliberately, not by mistake, it was deliberate. He disobeyed his master 4 times. I said, but this was wrong. And as they crossed Jordan, I was waiting for Elijah to say to Elisha, he asked me, what shall I give you before I be taken away from you? I said, it was wrong. He said, but it's right. Wrong, but right. So instead of that man being cursed, he was blessed. But I don't want to preach. And I don't want to teach. So I'm careful in entering. The way you are looking at me now. My heart is still not to do a study of that. Okay? Not for fear, but because this is supposed to be a charge. It's just to prime our hearts and get our hearts stirred onto what God wants to do. So it could happen that a man is doing something that you think he should not do, but in actual fact he is doing what is right. I still don't want to enter into explaining. But if I find space, or if I am pressed tonight, I will do it. If not, maybe tomorrow. Maybe in the course of this meeting, I might decide, I might be prompted in my heart to look at that and see, how do we differentiate disobedience from disobedience? So that you not say, Brother Rio said, if you disobey, you'll be blessed. Not all disobedience brings blessing. Not all. As a matter of fact, not all obedience brings success. I have told you that before. Yes. It was a great experience for me as we went through very turbulent time when we left Yagoku GRA and we thought we were going to buy a property at Kudo for 12 million, 3 plots for 12 million. And we have paid about 3 million, and then they said we should be using the place, and we started using the place, and suddenly they just gave us 10 days to pay the balance. And they said, if God has called you, he will pay, he will provide the money. Provide 9 million in 10 days. Yes, he can. But he didn't tell me he would do that. Very serious experience. It was an experience in which I lost the confidence to tell people the Lord said. I couldn't even tell my wife because nobody believed me anymore. Some people left Potter's House Christian Mission and they felt they can't follow, they can't trust my leadership because there is no proof that God spoke to me. And of course, God showed me that place 6 years before we got the place. And so it was turbulent. The small chapel we built there, before our very eyes, as they asked us to move, Muslims were praying inside the chapel before our very eyes. The brethren were crying. I couldn't cry. I was troubled, but I couldn't show it. You know, leadership demands that when you're afraid, you should not show it. That's how they return our money. And it was a Muslim who bought the place for 14 million naira cash. And we were looking for where to buy, and we couldn't get. I entered into bush like a monkey. Every forest I was going because we were looking for land. We wanted to pay for one like this. We have even invested about 150,000 naira into it, to survey, to do everything. And it was tomorrow. And I was praying, and the Lord opened my eyes. And I was going inside that forest. Suddenly I found a school, a public school, seated inside the forest. And I called the brother. I said, Tom, we can't buy this. He said, "Ma, you today. I said, we can't buy it. I have to go to the secretariat to go and bring them from the Ministry of Lands with their GPS. And when they came there and they met, they said, this place is an acquired, government-acquired land. I said, Tom. That's how we left it. We threw our things everywhere. We became homeless. And so eventually, I was just entering bush around again. I don't want to tell you the full story. It was terrible. I went for a personal retreat in Lagos. The last day of the retreat, God showed me this place. But I didn't write it because I was hungry. I didn't write the revelation. I didn't trust my revelation anymore. I couldn't trust it. And as I drove from Ibadan, it was a new garage there. From Lagos, I got to a new garage. And this man saw my car, jumped out of the car where he was, and he came to me. I said, and he was reporting somebody to me. I was not interested. But he was an elderly man, so I listened to him. We drove from New Garage to Ring Road. When I was getting closer to my house, I parked so that he would finish what he was saying. I wasn't interested. When he finished, he said, Pastor, Sheshin Wale. I said, I'm not interested. Pastor Sheshin Wale. What do you mean, no interest? I didn't send him. So he called me. He said, Pastor Motiri Lekon. I said, I'm not interested. I told you I'm not interested. Egbon, I'm not interested. And he was insisting I should come and see the land. I said, how much? He said, actually, why would not money? What kind of problem is this? When he would not allow me rest, so I went to go and meet him. All the land he took me to, they are all government acquired land because I have checked already. I said, this one, no. That one, no. Everyone I condemn, I said, it's government acquired. I said, how do you know? I said, I've been to the secretariat. But he walked bo. So he said, let me call somebody. And then they called this person came. Oh, where is your line? Say it's in Dianyore. I say it's Dianyore. Why are you taking me that far? But long story short, when we came, we checked. And then eventually, the Lord said, go to that woman, that CAC church there. Go to that woman. Because there was a revelation that a woman led us to the land we bought. Go and meet that woman. I came out of my room and I told my wife, I want to go and see that mama. I couldn't tell her that God told me to go. She said, how are you going to leave this place and go that far? Why don't you plan anytime your journey is towards that direction, you can branch? I said, no, I have to go. I couldn't tell her that God instructed me. It was when she saw my insistence, she said, okay, I will go with you. And that's how we came. And then, you know, this is where I was coming. So when they brought us here and we checked, I went to pray and the Lord said, that's the place I showed you. The day we paid, Brajaji, you were there that day. Brajaji Bravo Day. We couldn't tell anybody. We did it like a cool, because we are not sure whether it will succeed or not. When we paid and we signed all the papers, I was quiet. I drove home straight. I went straight to my room. I knelt down. The first word that came out of my mouth is, why did you treat me like this? Naomi said to Ruth, return.